Hello and welcome to another episode here on the Echoes from the Past YouTube channel. So today actually is a little bit of local history, which I actually really weirdly stumbled upon. So quick story, as you do, I was searching on Etsy just for World War II gifts / tat as I call it, and I stumbled across a Spitfire bullet that somebody had very nicely put in a frame, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I had a quick look, and turns out that it was found by a gentleman who had been doing some metal detecting on a local beach about 20 minutes away from where I live, which this blew my mind, because I've said this to someone in the past where a lot of the time you think World War II history happened in France and Belgium and Germany, and the Middle East. So therefore it's really far away, you're never going to find anything that's really close to you. So for me to find this, I was buzzing. So I jumped at the opportunity. I jumped in the car this morning, and where we are is right down by the coast. I don't really know much about this. I couldn't really find much, so I'm going to be learning along with you guys. But basically my understanding of it is the area where I am now is because it was on the Welsh coast opposite Northern Ireland. It's kind of obviously away from the front and the main targets of the Luftwaffe. So it was away so they could do more training, so to speak. So what I found was that these sand dunes were actually used for target practice for Spitfire pilots. They needed somewhere to train, so why not somewhere far away from the front where they can take their time and get used to the aircraft and how to fire properly and hit their targets. And also I believe there are some bunkers for the home guard here as well, obviously it being a coast, like I mentioned in my other video where I stumbled upon a World War II bunker. So apparently there are. So really it's just about me exploring and learning along with you guys, seeing what I find. There is an information board just over there that I'll put some pictures in, I'll edit in some pictures of those because that's really good. I'm going to have a quick read of that and hopefully that'll jog my memory of what's happened here. And there's also, I think they've embedded some Spitfire bullets that they found here, which is amazing as well. So yeah, let's go discover some stuff together. So I'm now on the beach. Didn't manage to stumble across any of the bunkers, but I am going to wander around for a bit, see if I can find them. But it's just really good to be back on the beach again doing World War II stuff. This is going to sound really weird, but every beach now I go to still reminds me of the beaches in Normandy, and although that was a bit of a stressful trip, it was amazing to go there, and I was really excited to come here and do some more videos and stuff, because it really gets me excited. Because it's just amazing, it's a tangible touch to the past that I've got here, having something to do with World War II right on my doorstep, which is just amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna have a wander around, see if I can find these bunkers. That'd be pretty cool. But if not, there'll be some nice shots of the scenery, because it's not as warm today, but it's still a beautiful day. Well, just walking along the beach, and I think I've stumbled upon something. I think I've stumbled upon the last remains of a possible bunker. I don't know if I can get too close. Just don't know how secure the ground is. So, well, let me show you guys. Yeah, so I think that kind of looks like it, doesn't it? It could be. Obviously, the coast has changed a lot in 80 years. It will continue to change, unfortunately. But that, to me, definitely looks like some sort of concrete structure, doesn't it? It could have been further back, and over the years it's just, degraded, and that's his final resting spot, really, and it'll probably end up getting washed out to sea at some point. So that's pretty cool, but I'm still going to try and hunt, and we're going to try and find some more stuff. So I've moved off the beach now just to come through the dunes. I have to walk back because this wind. Sorry, apologies for the wind. Yeah, I've come off the beach. Wasn't really having any luck finding these bunkers, but I'm determined. I'm determined. So we're gonna have a whole explore in the dunes. See if we find anything. If we don't, it's still been a nice trip. You know, that cool little information display. I was right about the dunes being used as target practice and the pillboxes being used for the home guard. And also apparently evacuees as well, obviously being on the opposite side of where all the major front was. Oh, there is an aircraft going overhead, but I don't think it's anything exciting. No, it doesn't look like it. It could be. I'll have to check a flight tracker in a minute. And that is peak World War II note right there. You hear an aircraft, you think, oh, what is it? Let's have a look. No, it's not super interesting, but yeah, every time I hear any aeroplane, I will immediately look up, because if it's a Spitfire, of course I'm going to go mental. But yes, what was I saying? I was saying about the evacuees, wasn't I? Yeah. So obviously this being away from the front and it being, not deemed a major target priority, the evacuees could come here and places like here and be in relative safety compared to, the bigger cities. So apparently, yeah, a lot of evacuees came here as well, which makes sense. So it's kind of a broad range, really. It's used for a lot of things, kind of every major thing that you can think of, something to do related with combat, so the target practice, the home defence, the home guard, and then evacuees. That kind of ticks the three major boxes of World War II, really. So yeah, I'm going to carry on exploring these dunes. Let's try and find this bunker. So I think the key to finding anything particularly these bunkers, because I'm determined now, is the advantage of high ground. Now, I'm going to try and go up this thing, see if it'll give me any better views of where this bunker is or bunkers. Because I have seen a picture. This is the thing, I've seen, doing a bit of research, I saw a picture of the bunker. So in my mind, I kind of know what it looks like, but I have no idea where it is. So yeah, let's try and climb this hill. Not gonna lie, that was a lot steeper than I thought it was going to be. Definitely didn't nearly fall over at least twice. Definitely not out of breath. But it has given me really good commanding view. God knows now I'm going to get down, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, hopefully that'll be worth it. I mean, the views alone are worth it anyway, to be fair. So yeah, let's carry on exploring. So I might have said it before, beaches always remind me of the Normandy beaches, but I don't know if anyone else does this, but whenever I go to a beach, particularly because I live by the coast, I always think, well, what would the invasion look like here, with, these bluffs here, a bit like Omaha Beach, being really large, and I look at the wide open beach behind me, and, you can't help but, if you're a history nut like me, you can't help but picture that armada and the amount of men and material trying to move in land. And, it's not the same beach, but because you read a lot of books and you try to picture things, I can't help but naturally picture that as an invasion beach and people fighting for freedom and stuff like that. So I know that's a bit of a jump, but that's how I interpret history, and it kind of, I was going to say, makes me happy. History does make me happy, but Normandy is still, it's not that far away, but it is quite far away. But so being able to come to somewhere that's close to it, that's nice. It's like I said before, it's tangible. It's a tangible piece of history that you can almost kind of touch, almost. So yeah. Well, unfortunately, no bunker. I was walking through those dunes for quite a while, to be fair, and then I got up high and still couldn't see anything. And even coming down this part of the beach off there, I still can't find anything. But it's still been good. It's been really good. It's been really nice. And another thing that kind of goes through my mind, this has been a bit of a strange video. I appreciate a lot of me ranting and raving. But another thing that I think of is, when I come to beaches like this that remind me of the Normandy beaches, is, you storm the beach, but then you don't know what's behind there. A bit like in Band of Brothers, Aftermarket Garden, when they're on the island, as they called it in Holland. And in the series, this is very famous. Dick Winters, he charges forward, and then he goes up over the top of the dike, and there's that young German soldier, and he shoots him, and then there's loads of other SS, his whole SS battalion. He didn't know that they were there, and it's the same with this. An invasion force could land right here, and then they try to move inland, and they don't know how many men, armour, machine guns, mortars, whatever. You don't know what's behind there, and that goes through my mind as well whenever I come to beaches in this country. And reading a lot lately, especially I'm reading a magazine actually about the Battle of Britain, and the amount of back and forth they went on what to do, what was the best aircraft to use, and I think that's a big lesson for life. I always try to give you guys a lesson from the past and bring it to the future. That's what this channel's all about. And I think I've said it before, where you can plan and plan and plan and plan, and then it's kind of out of your hands. And having anxiety is okay about things, about wanting to do the right thing and making sure it's done correctly. But there comes a point where you've just got to go for it. You've got to plan to your best, the best of your ability, and then you just got to go for it. And I think that's ultimately what D-Day was, and especially the Battle of Britain, and just having to go, right, well, we've got the situation in front of us, let's just deal with it, because we can plan and we can go back and forth all day long, but this problem is still here and it still needs to be solved. So I think that's definitely a really good lesson for life. So yeah, I'm going to head back now. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Like I say, a bit of a strange one, a bit of rant and raving. My plan for the Tour of Remembrance series is still going on. Obviously it just takes a bit of travel to because the next ones that I want to do are where I grew up, so it's just working out when's best to do that. I'm even thinking about doing that maybe after Christmas, so I can plan it properly. And weirdly, I kind of want to do it in the colder weather, because then there won't be as many people around, so I won't get as many strange looks. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one, bit of local history. Yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.